Hi there guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Gecko Man, and today I'm going to bring you the two Crucibles from Dimensions and Transcendence, which was just released very recently in global the city of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. All I'll say about these quests that these are not particularly easy quests. I mean, some people probably find certain ones easier than the others. I for one found the turtles to be quite tough. Even with good characters being taken along, it was still pretty tough. Just because of some mechanics that make it difficult. The target snipers are still ones to watch out for. I haven't lost against them on all my attempts so far that I've went up against them, but that's not to say that they're not dangerous, because they are. And of course the lunatic flame masks on the Reckoning quest are incredibly dangerous. Yeah, they can wipe you out fairly fast if you're not monitoring things. So this video is going to cover the two crucibles. So we'll go through the left crucible first. I'll put waypoints on the video so you can go to the one that's relevant to the one you're wanting to look at. So we'll do the left crucible first, and then we'll do the right crucible with the teams that I've chosen to do these particular quests for, and I hope it ends up being useful for anyone who's using these teams or has similar ideas. So yeah, I will just move over to the videos now, and we will get going. So we'll start off with the left, then go on to the right. So see you in a second for the left. So yeah, guys, here we are. This is my team that I've chosen to do with the left crucible. Is a combination of Paladin Cecil, my boy 8. Enemy knows that I absolutely love 8 in this game. He's just fabulous. Any chance that I get, anytime I get a chance to use him, I will use him. And we have Gabranth, who obviously had his LD release alongside this these set of Lufenia missions for Dimensions and Transcendence. So we'll do the clear of this. I'll show you the clear of this. I'll run you through it. So this is against the target snipers. So yeah, let me just set things up and then we'll get going. Alright, so yep, as I said, Paladin Cecil 8, Gabranth. Here we go, this is my clear of this particular event, so let's go. Alrighty, here we go. So yep, as I said, there's two of them, and the Lufenia orb for this one is holy damage. So we start off with 8. We get his last stand up because that's just normal kind of rotation play for 8. And as I said before, start off with the Paladin Force for Cecil just to get the max brave buffs and that up across the team. Start with Gabranth using Circle. Because that applies the additional 2 debuffs, and then that gives him his Outlaw's brand, or his Outlaw's mark, sorry, debuff, the upgraded debuff, which lets him instant break. Now we're going to be seeing this a lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of 8 countering. That is the name of the game in this particular fight. He's going to do it a lot. I believe at 8 here I go in with the C65 to keep his Phantom Rush buff up. Then I go Explosive Fist to get the lock on. So the enemies are forced to target 8. Because that was the one thing I liked about his LD, is that it gave him that lock on. Because it makes him more viable. Start off with Innocence there as Gabranth's next action to get his new buff up, which increases his own stats. And I mean it's a free hit HP dump. So I mean, why not? So we went on with Cecil's LD there to get things going for the extra damage. And then we did a light speed jab just to fill up the meter for 8, so that he can use his Phantom Rush in his next turn. We've also got the light enchant up now as well, so 8 will be doing significantly more damage, as you can see there. But even that, not just that, even his counters will be doing, you know, relatively good damage now. Sorry. Ooh. Yeah, I will be drinking quite a bit of this because this is this is going to be a long video. We're covering 2, so, and they're both about 20 minutes long, so we're going to be here a while. We're going to be here a while. Quickening, yes. Instant break. We instant break B. Just because we don't want the order becoming messed up between A and B, so we just kind of push them back when we can. So next time A comes up, we'll push it back, and it will go from there. Of course, they're going to try and target 8. 8 just goes, nope, I'll dodge that. And I will smack you in the face a couple of times. What I really like about 8 in this game is that from Type 0 he's known as being right-handed, so he's got a stronger right hand, and that kind of crosses over into this game, which I love, because every time he hits with his right hand, he does double the amount of brave damage that he does with his left, which I think is a really neat little thing that they brought into it. It's good that they've kept that lore from the actual game that he came from. So we will be using Cecil's Burst later on in the fight, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So yes, I did eventually get Cecil's Burst. The game was feeling pretty generous. Got it on the 27th ticket I think it was, for when I was chasing Gabranth's LD, so, you know, it's very nice. Thank you, game. I was planning on tokening for it, but now I get to save my tokens again for a little bit. For Terra. So yep, we're just countering all day long, keeping the debuffs up. Charge is the only thing to watch out from this fight. This gives them their brave gain and reduces brave damage to 1. And the name of the game here is to instant break them. Which is why you want someone like Gabranth or other good contenders for this are Straggle. Straggle can instant break on his LD. I've just seen Jack there. He can instant break there on his LD as well. Trey has EX has a debuff that makes brave attacks always instant break, so that's another option. Very good option actually. Trey's probably a really good option. I want to go back and try this fight again with Trey and see how he gets on in place of Gabranth. So yeah, as Cecil's crystal gets low, we'll just kind of, you know, keep the effect up so that it never drops off. Guilt gives us our instant break, which gets rid of the brave damage reduction aura. And what's good about the fact of bringing 8 along to this fight is that every time he counters, whilst Cecil has the party light enchant up, it counters the orb, so it's the orb is never really a big issue in this fight, because for a vast majority of the fight, light enchant is in play. And the damage that comes off of Gabranth is still really nice at this point in time as well. I remember really liking his EX when it originally came out, because even though LDs were coming out at that point, it was still, really powerful. I mean, any kind of EX that has a free HP dump, is very nice. Especially if it's a powerful free HP dump. Look at that, 10k brave damage on that right-handed punch. It's good to see that kind of damage coming off of 8. And yes, I do have 8's armor. I do have 8's armor. He is my boy after all, so yes, he has it. So now we're down below 60%, so it's going steadily. I think the record before this I had was 56 turns. Using this exact same team. And again, the turn count will just depend on certain circumstances in the fight and how aggressive that I choose to be. And with this kind of team setup, because 8 is taking most of the damage, or taking most of the focus here, the enemy attacks are never really that much of a concern, other than like that all attack that this that B wants to do, because that is either going to be uncontrolled fire or mantra magic. Oh, they're both doing all attacks now. Okay, the other one just changed. So yeah, they'll do uncontrolled fire, which can be a bit concerning if they break you. If they break you, it can be pretty nasty. And as you've seen there, because it used uncontrolled fire as well, it gives them a little bit of a... It does give them a little bit of a boost to their stats as well. Because you can see the brave damage is falling a little bit. And then again, that could just be because of the Lefenia buffs. Yeah, so that's it falling below 50%, and then that's it getting an additional buff there. Was B, and we'll probably see the same for A in a second. Yes, there we go. So at certain points of the fight, they do receive buffs. That's me just checking to see which buffs were close to running out for 8, so that I could just do an aggressive refresh Decide to go with the light enchanting there. It brings it down. That was not a free one, so that was just to get it up again, just to try and keep damage consistent. Because essentially you could use it like 6 times in the fight over the course. Yeah, so our damage is falling a little bit, and that's just because the fight's progressing. You're gonna have to expect that during a Lefenia fight. I didn't want to waste quickening there, because if I were to instant break it there with quickening, all the brave attacks after the instant break would still only count for 1 point of damage, so it would have wasted the EX. I would rather personally waste guilt than waste quickening. So just because quickening can do a significant increase in damage compared to guilt. So now I believe is where we go in with quickening on A. Because we can do significantly more damage. And yeah, 240k and 5 9s on the other. Holy Flame it does actually provide a very, very nice party heal as well. But it does do some good damage as well on for a spot damage move. So that was the Paladin Force there. I believe I'm very close to using the burst here. That was me just checking turn orders for the enemies, checking the debuffs. I don't think they had the lock on at that point, so that was just me putting the lock back on. We took a controlled fire there, broke both of them, and brought their HP below the additional threshold that's provided by Cecil's LD. I think I'd go with Circle here, because Circle provides a bravery fund for the party. You know, which is good. It's good that Gabranth has that now in his kit. It just makes them a lot more viable as well. No, that uncontrolled fire, the brave hits that come off that will hit enemies randomly, so it just depends on who it hits. Cecil was unfortunately broken there. He is down just above half health, but honestly, it's not a concern at this point right now. So I was considering going for burst, then that happened, and then I was like, okay, I need to actually break this one now before I do it, because I don't want to have my damage diminished because this one's just charged up. So yeah, I decided to go with the Saints Fallen B just to try and maximise damage over that side, then go with Guilt on A to instant break. It's going to use, so this is the other one, this is Mantra Magic. I don't think that's as threatening a move as Uncontrolled Fire. I may be wrong on that, but I have been hit with that a few times. They don't use it often, but it seems to be less worrying than Uncontrolled Fire. But don't quote me on that. Okay, yep. So yeah, with 8, we just want to keep those buffs up, That is last stand, so we want last stand up again. So yeah, you just always want to make sure his buffs are rolling over nicely and neatly, and that they don't fall. That none of them ever fall off. So yeah, here we go again. I was again considering burst. This one decides, no, I'm going to charge up as well. I'm just going to make you waste another turn. I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll point it. I'll point at A. I'll use the LD because I need to get the thing back up. You can at least do some amount of damage with it. Use Guilt because over quickening, because as I explained before, the damage or the brave damage hits just wouldn't have been worth the quickening. Go with the Lightspeed Jab, that brings them both below 30% health. It decides to try and shoot 8. 8 goes, nope. I will just punch you in the face a couple of times now for your insolence. So we go with Light Enchant all here. Then I'm pretty sure this is burst time. Yeah. Because at that point I'd been thinking about doing burst for a while. But they kept using charge, which was kind of annoying. I mean, it kind of just helped delay the inevitable a little bit, but... So yeah, I Paladin Force, LD, Saints Fall 1, Saints Fall the other, Holy Flame as the last move, because that gives a little bit of a brave refund, and then we go into Soul Shift. I mean, and that's decent damage. That's decent damage. But with Cecil's burst, it's not really the damage you're looking for that, and that it's what you get from the burst effect that's the real winner, and the stat boosts you get from it are really attractive. It just can't, at this later stage of the fight, it just helps completely counter the Lefenia reductions, to the point where 8 is now pretty much doing similar damage that he was doing at the beginning of the fight. And as long as you're over 100% health, you're going to be doing that. So, and because Cecil's LD ensures there's an extra 30% above 100, it's never really an issue. So yeah, we go straight in with the summon just to try and churn out as much damage now as we can whilst we've got the burst effect in play. Because we can churn out more damage with Diablos, because of his level 40. So yeah, go with Innocence, because why the heck not? It does crazy damage here at this point. Go with Explosive Fist, because again for the same reason, doing nice damage. Go for Holy Flame, same reason. Look at that, 98 across both enemies. It's just so good. Was considering Caius there, but I was like, no, okay, we'll just go with Guilt. Just to keep damage going. And we got a launch out of it as well, which is always very nice. 8, target the other one. Do a quick bolt. Yeah, we're just kind of trying to use up skills now just to kill off the fight now, because these guys are dead and they just don't know it yet. Uncontrolled fire breaks us, but HP threshold on completion isn't actually a thing in this fight, so you don't really need to worry about that as much. The only requirement is that you need to bring a white crystal character to this fight, which is fulfilled by Cecil. I believe this move actually finishes the fight. Yes. So the quickening finishes the fight, and that is the lunatic target snipers. So I hope you found that one useful. We'll be moving over to the other tier in just a second. So if you're here for that, we'll see you in a second, because we're just about to switch over. So yeah guys, I'll see you all in a little bit. Here we are with the right Crucible team. We have Cloud, Kais, and Cryo. When I originally did this, I did it with Cloud, Cryo, and Ramza, although I found that team to be very inconsistent. So I decided to go with this team, and actually cleared it the first time doing it. But yeah, this is the one fight that I would say gave me the most trouble out of the three. These turtles are no joke. So just be wary of the turtles. They're absolutely no joke. I start off with Blade Beam, because why not? We get the delay, we get the free skill use out of it as well. Start off with Kais's LD as well to get the Brave Leak debuff on these guys as well to try and stop them doing as much damage. Go with Ray of Hope then into Cryo's LD to get the lightning enchant up, and the weakness on the turtles as well. And you got to love Kaisa, the fact that he boosts damage during chases as well. You know, it's just really helpful. And you know, it just works well with other launchers like with the likes of Cloud. He just plays well to them. So now we use the quick dual cast. I mean, and that is a free HP dump. It just has a quite low. It has quite low brave hits though. That's all. So it doesn't turn out as much damage as maybe some others. So when these guys go into their shell, you need to launch them, essentially, to make them well, to remove the brave damage reduction. As you see, the brave damage there was 1, so you need to launch them. What's good about Kais is, as you just saw there, when you launch an enemy and he chases after them, you can use his brave attack to reduce their brave to 0. So it's not as big of an issue. Just be wary of these guys, because my experience of fighting these guys is that they have some turn shenanigans sometimes, which has resulted in quite a number of resets. So you see that they are kind of losing health quite steadily. I mean, it's chipping away. It is really chipping away here. And the orb requirement is to have the enemy launched. And I think it increases it by 8 if I remember right, up to a maximum of 20. The orb goes away at 79%, so that one's just lost it. And then I think comes back again at 49%. Oh, that one was paralysed, and it's not had a chance to come out of its shell yet after it was already launched. So once it's been launched, you don't need to really. It won't get the brave reduction back until it comes out of its shell and then goes back in. And what you'll find is that once one comes out of its shell, the other one will go in. Meaning you need to launch it. So you will have to make sure you've got launches available to counter that, or you'll need to find some way of removing their brave. Which is what I did the last time when I was using Ramza, was just to, Ramza just screams at them and terrifies them into losing all their brave. So yeah, I was a little bit scared with the way the turn order worked there. I noticed that Cryo's EX was just about ready, so I decided to Ray of Hope and then used her EX to try and shave off as much as I could, because I knew Thunder wasn't going to do enough. Sparkle Stream is the move really to watch out for in this fight, because that is a punishing move. Whenever you see an all attack, it's Sparkle Stream, and it's gonna hurt. And you need to find a way of healing for it. As you can see from my team setup, my team has absolutely no healing capabilities in it, which is why I have a Ramza call and a Penilla call to get around the lack of healing in the team. And I brought Pandemonium as the summon in this fight, because Pandemonium makes you do more damage in chases, and since the nature of this fight is to do lots of chases, it made sense to have Pandemonium, because we want to try and maximize our damage output, and since we're going to be launching a lot, it kind of makes sense. Diablos could have also worked here because of the increased damage to element weakness, but I figured Cryo's element weakness is already powerful enough, so having the damage in the chase, I personally find more beneficial. Especially when you've got someone like Cloud there that can hit like an absolute truck. Yeah, but you can't underestimate how powerful Cloud actually is. And I like that. I like that they've actually made him really, really good. And of course, this is I'm recording this on the 24th of March 2021, and tomorrow on DFFOO Global we have the release of the updated Start Dash campaign, which will bring LD boards for Cloud, Lightning and Squall, as well as a rebirth for Squall, bringing Squall right back up into top tier category. So I'm looking forward to using Squall again. Since I got I got his burst like 5 times above the one I already had. But we're getting distracted from the fight here, aren't we? We used Sky High there because it was there. And we'll do that because it delays the enemy as well. Yeah, sometimes if you a good bit of advice is if you don't think that you can get a launch off on the enemy, is to save maybe one of Cloud's cross slash pluses and just hit it on the enemy who is in the shell. It'll stop them for for one of their turns, just so you can get some setup going, because the other one won't go into its shell until the other ones come out. At least at this early stage of the fight. Later on, well, things things change. Once, I think. It's only when they hit a HP threshold that they both go into a shell. Their shell at the same time. This was me. I wanted to delay here. Because of that auto attack that was coming, and I wanted to try and get a chance to get as much health back as I could. Sorry guys. But I think we're actually really close at this point to burst territory. Yes, so we go with the Penel call there to get the HP regen going across the team. Because as you've seen, Cloud's health is getting dangerously low, and it's about to get even more dangerously low on B's next turn, since it's charging up an auto attack. And as I said but earlier on, when these enemies charge up an auto attack, it is guaranteed it is a sparkle stream. So I cross/plus him to completely stop that, at least for one turn. So I aerial drive here, and that was to reapply the debuff, to try and stop that sparkle stream that's coming from doing too much damage. I think I Ray of Hope here. No, apparently I Thunder. It must have been one I was thinking hard on. But yeah, there you go. I mean, that was a really hard hit with Cloud almost dying there. That was almost a reset. Because yeah, if one of your characters is KO'd, that's it. You'll have to reset because you won't meet the requirements of the fight to perfect it. See, at this point here, I'm very much considering burst. This is why I'm going for the critical crush into the blade beam. This is to maximize critical hit damage during the burst phase. So we'll go with Ray of Hope. This gets quick dual cast up. And then on Kais's next turn here, I use hero support on A and target Cloud, so that forces Kais to go right behind Cloud as Cloud goes into burst, thereby increasing. Just so I could increase the damage coming out of Cryo as well. And because of that the Blade Beam also gives us a free skill use of Finishing Touch going into the burst phase, which I covered in my last video. So it's the best way to set up for this if you want to do a complete launch phase in this burst. Because all you do is use your free Finishing Touch, use your Blade Beam, use Finishing Touch on one enemy, use Finishing Touch on the other enemy, then Cross Slash or Meteor Rain, whichever one you prefer on the one that's still launchable. And then you Omni Slash. So yeah, Kais is just helping us throughout this burst phase, just to maximise the damage that we're getting out of the burst by increasing everyone's brave. And what's also useful here to point out is that I use the quick dual cast of Cryo right before the burst phase, because it doesn't count down during the burst, so you get that bravery boost at the start of every burst turn. just meaning you can churn out even more damage. So that's 60k starting off there. And we end up doing what, 260k on that last attack on A. So yeah, nice. 2.1 million, that's not bad. That's not bad. Against some very resilient enemies, that's pretty good. And the fact that you get the Lufenia brave reduction, yeah, that I call that a win there. So yep, we're going for killing now because we've used the burst. We have to try and churn out as much as we can now. So yeah, there's that. I think that had fallen off. I think the cleansing buff had fallen off quite a while back. So I looked at. I was looking at it thinking, oh yeah, I have not used that in a while. I should probably get that back up. So both enemies are under paralysis here, courtesy of... I think one was courtesy of Judgment and the other is courtesy of Cloud's Crosslash. So B is going to get hit with paralysis and then get Judgment paralysis on its next turn as well, so we don't need to worry about B for a little while. This is me considering what to do about A. I just kind of decided to go with the Sky High here, just to do as much damage as I can on B. Since we're a little bit away from that yet, go with the finishing touch here instead. Yeah, that one was a weird one there where it just said unable to act due to paralysis. I was like, okay. I'm guessing one of the enemies tried to do something there. I think it was B. I think B tried to do something there because it fell below the 30% threshold. I think what happened there is that when they get below 30% is that they do their Radiant Sparkle or whatever the buff is called. Which gives them that kind of sparkly aura that you can see on A. I think that was what B was trying to do, but because of the paralysis, it couldn't do it. And then it retreats into its shell because it's below the HP threshold. And I wanted to get A below the HP threshold as well, before it came back out of its shell, so that it wouldn't be forced back into it again. So now they're both in their shell, so I need to launch. I think I still need to launch both. I don't think I do. I think it's only one that I need to actually. Oh no, they've both been both been launched, but the paralysis has just kept them in their shell state. So yeah, I used Penella to try and shave as much as I could there. Obviously, it wasn't enough to do anything on B. Although B is not a real concern right now because it's paralysed. It was only at that point there that I realised that B was paralysed. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't need to do that. Let's just thunder A. But now we need to start thinking about B because he's back in play now, and he has 75k Brave. So just go simple there with the Selkie throw. Just because we've still got the burst effect there, which is just about to run out. Aside, I've not used Dark Knight Cecil yet. I need to do a launch because of the orb requirement, so I launch him there to get that done. Then he also has an all attack coming, and we know what all attacks are going to do, don't we? We know what's coming. So I wanted to get whatever damage I could on A. And you may or may not be able to sense it, but there's a burst phase. No, not a burst. There's a summon phase coming very soon. So this launches that one. We use the Selkie HP attack to do as much damage as there as we could, and I was considering between summoning Sky High there, but because Sky High was up and it delays the enemy, I thought, yeah, let's just go with the Sky High right now, and then we'll go into the summon. It just means we get another turn inside this summon. If that makes sense. I know it really doesn't, but it does as well. It gives us a chance to try and churn out some extra damage with some of our skills. Since I knew that Sky High was going to do good damage anyway. So we go with hero support because we want to try and do as much damage in the summon here. And since we can do chases quite easily inside the summon, it makes sense to do that. Pretty sure I go with Blade Beam here. Go with the HP attack again. You can see there's we are closing in on sub 10%. Go Selkie Throat on you. They have lots of Brave on them, so we do that. Again, very close to sub 10%. And courtesy of the Blade Beam, that has delayed the enemies quite a bit as well. Decide, since it's Cryo's last move, since Cryo has the last move inside the summon, I'll use Cleansing to try and do as much damage there. Now this was me considering I need to use the free skill because it's a free skill. So yeah, we go with finishing touch since that's the kind of normal strategy, and it's it's chase damage. So yeah, why wouldn't we? Target B, go Sky High because it's got a launch coming up. We might as well. So there we go. The one's at 6%, one's at 3%. So yeah, this fight's just about done. And they've not had a turn for quite a while, which is always very good. Of course, Cloud gets his turn here, and I'm thinking could go Meteor Rain, but I decided to go with Cross Slash just to be sure that that A doesn't Sparkle Stream. Go here support, use it on Cryo because it gives us an extra chance to do damage on the chase. Go the all advance to increase our damage output. Not even realizing that just reset the launch. Completely forgot all about that happened. Then I said, you know what, they're both on 1% health. Aerial Drive will probably kill them. And I was right. Aerial Drive did indeed finish off that fight. So they didn't really do much sub 30% health. So once we entered the burst phase, these guys were pretty much dead. And we did it in 69 turns. Nice. So yeah, that's that fight, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. The next video will be on DE Transcendence Reckoning for Tier 1. So I'll see you then, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Please remember to like and subscribe. Stay tuned.